I thought maybe I even somehow deserved this fate. I even hid underneath a pew in the church near my old house and was relieved when I heard them lock the doors. For that one night on New Year's Eve in 1983, I had some shelter out of the cold and wind of the winter night. Usually during the morning would come, I would get off at the Union Turnpike Kew Gardens train station on Queens Boulevard as the masses got on for their workday. I would walk back to St. John's University to save my last bucks and head down to the basement of St. John's Hall and look at the job openings. After my job interviews, I needed to find a payphone. There were no cell phones back then. I found one on the other side of Jamaica High School near St. John's, where I would stand sometimes for 3 or 4 hours in the cold and wind, hoping somebody would ring that phone for a job. I would shower mostly in the basement of Alumni Hall, the gymnasium, until the winter break came that year. Much to my chagrin, they were renovating the shower area. And on this particular December day, I needed to get to New York City in about 40 minutes for an interview. So I ran up the stairs to the bathroom located across from the athletic office, where most people were at St. John's. Many people there knew me since I had written for the school paper, as well as the radio station. And I certainly didn't want them to let them know what had happened to me. I was humiliated. During this day, Coach Lou Conaseca, who I had gotten to know during this time, saw me as I was about to wash my hair in the sink. He looked at me oddly and asked me what I was doing. I lied. I told him everything was great and I was working. He slapped me on the back, gave me a big smile, and left. But I didn't want to take any more chances that someone else would see me from St. John's. I was so embarrassed that I went to the last bathroom stall and shut the door. I looked at the toilet and the soap I had just put in my hand from the dispenser. I rubbed the soap quickly in my hair and continued to stare at the water in the toilet. Then I knelt down and held my breath, dipping my head into the toilet and washing it quickly. I pulled some paper towels out of my coat pocket and tried to dry my hair. I listened to make sure no one was near the sink, and I came out of the stall and looked at myself in the mirror. And I just started to cry. This wasn't supposed to be part of my journey. I was a college graduate with a bright future, who had so much to live for. I spent a couple more weeks on the train checking out job opportunities, but I was running out of money, and soon I wouldn't even be able to pay for that subway token at night, where at least I had warmth and shelter. During one stretch, I stayed underground for almost 72 hours to save on paying for a subway token. I remember looking at the many who rode the train with me during those late nights and early morning hours. Their faces were much like mine, scared, tired, grungy, and just looking for a slimmer of hope, a unique one. Each person does have a unique story. Whether it was running out of money, losing a job in a downsized field, a terrible family situation, or a victim of social cutbacks. What I saw in their faces was much like mine. Fear. Fear of never having another chance to live normally. I learned and I developed now what I consider my greatest characteristic, compassion. I realized that the people on the train that night were much like me, human beings who deserved to be treated with dignity, not disdain. It was shortly after that period of time that a caring aunt and uncle rescued me off the train and gave me a second chance at life. They showed me compassion, and to this day I make sure I return it to them as old age has taken its toll. To this day, I wonder how many of my brothers and sisters, those downtrodden and buried in the bowels of life's despair, were able to get off the train like me. Compassion has opened up many beautiful parts of my life too. It's even helped further along a dream, one that I had carried for almost 28 years after I graduated. I wanted to write a novel. While sitting with my daughter in Orlando on vacation 3 summers ago, I got an email from Vice President Simon & Schuster. He was interested in buying the rights to my story. He immediately signed me to the contract, and the book, Necessary Heartbreak, a novel of faith and forgiveness, was born. It discusses the many homeless experiences I had, the emotional plights, the physical and emotional pain that you go through. I've since written the second book, Everybody's Daughter, which includes more. But each and every one of you here tonight has something wonderful inside you. You have energy, love, and compassion. It's why you are here tonight. It's why I drove 4 hours tonight from Long Island to be with you. A recent Huffington Post story reported that many who are on unemployment no longer have this benefit. The number of part-time workers has risen from 4 million before the recession to 9 million now, which means that a lot of people may have jobs but not making the same money they were before the recession. After I wrote an article for CNN last year, I was overwhelmed by many people contacting me and sharing the stories of how they were just one paycheck away from having the foreclosure process start on them. I even heard from a woman who was living in a car with her daughter. A recent 60 Minutes report showed many families living in cars and trucks in Central Florida, parked outside Walmarts and YMCA's at night, waiting for their chance at a normal life. While years of looking for a job have pushed people to a period of despair, you cannot give up. You are our hope. You are the most loving people in our country. Perhaps someone here tonight, somewhere down the line, will come up with a solution, anything that can help us make sure that every American has a warm bed to sleep in. There isn't a person sitting in this room who lacks compassion. I thank you for sacrificing your time and energy tonight to help people like myself. I was a middle-class, college-educated person who just landed in a very difficult situation. Please keep the compassion alive. Your money, your effort, your time, and your compassion are the most important things that you have given to me tonight, and it is an honor to be here. Thank you for your time.